We live, baby. Yeah.
How's everybody doing? We're just going to give everybody a few minutes to come and join us, and then we will get started.
I'm gonna post the link in the TG for everybody just in case.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We are here. How are you doing?
Hello, this is his plan. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Do you know who everybody is?
That was Berlin, right?
Yeah, but as soon as I said that, I saw most of these names are their Telegram names as well.
Yep, except for you and his plan.
All right, guys, we're gonna stay focused and stay positive while we in here. None of the extra stuff that's going on outside in here, please.
No, not at all.
That's right. We should make sure we follow each other in here because I definitely didn't know any of you guys here in Twitter. Well, the
I'm
professor
already
is like,
following all of you from the raids.
oh, okay.
Well, Dirty Jeeto is following you guys back now.
Cool. I'm gonna hit the share button. Post this.
Oh, hold on, I gotta go get the dominoes, guys.
Go ahead and change up your PFPs, guys, like late night.
Oh, my PFP stay locked in, baby.
I'm going back to the Telegram chat each time, and I forgot we're in Spaces.
We are.
So what I usually do when I'm driving, I have my phone and I have my iPad. So, and I have two accounts that I use so I can, when I do the raid, so I can raid like that. But I can turn on the the Telegram group, the VC tablet when I talk on my phone, and the spaces.
Oh, come on, bro. Nah, I'll put you on blast. I'll put you
Man,
on
everybody,
blast. 100%.
yo, you guys coming to the
I don't
spaces?
get no more. I get no more. No more phone calls. No, because I cannot fix.
Oh, let me get out of there. Debates on it.
I am back.
You were just outside.
I don't know how to get the pizza. This pizza. Bro, I didn't drive anywhere. Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Oh, we got a couple people popped in pretty fast.
Yeah, it's going good.
It was a bit of a distraction, but I'm glad we're all here. Just want to say everybody's being recorded, so strictly positivity.
Well, since we are Dirty Jeeto and we're hosting this educational spaces, why don't we all start by introducing ourselves? So, I am Moonchild and I have inherited the lead on this Dirty Jeeto push. And our ultimate goal in the crypto space is to help people learn how to trade responsibly, to make sure you protect yourself and do trading with also not tanking charts on projects that you do know and you want to see succeed, while at the same time protecting your own investments and de-risking as you go. So that's me.
How's it going, guys? I'm late night. I guess I'm kind of like a little bit of a hype man, DJ, security. I'm the frontline Gito. So
So, Moonchild, I think this is the part where you call on someone and say, okay, so let's say TB or Joel, tell us about you, something like that.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm new to this, so I appreciate the input. Okay, so that was late night. Who is the professor that is with us?
It's me, Berlin.
Go ahead and
Y-
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I've been in the project obviously since the start, and I haven't left. I've kept the raids active all the time. Most of the evenings, I'm behind the raids. So yeah, I keep the spam out of the chat when the US is asleep. That's my part of the project.
My name's Boo Boo. Um, I usually just kind of keep the tunes going, the spam and all the bots out. I like to kind of keep the community positive and stay on track. Um, and yeah, thank you guys.
So, this is Binga Crypto,
Or
but I'm Kryptonite on X. And Moon, you want to say something?
I was going to introduce the next person, but since you go ahead, go right ahead.
Okay, so this is Benga Crypto. I'm just a normal member, but just got to find some persons in the community whom when everything was going south, I decided not to leave because of the members, and all that. So that's just it. So kind of legit people, I felt like I needed to still be around them. So that's just it.
And we value you very
Thank you,
much.
brother.
Okay, go ahead, forecast.
How you doing? I'm his plan on the Telegram group, and I'm just here to go for the ride. I'm here for the community, and I like to stay focused on the task. And I can see this project just being big, just like Dog with Hat, Dog with Hat, or with Ponky, any of those big meme coins. I can see the longevity of this project, and I'm hoping that we all can stay on task.
Hey, anybody else want to say a few words before we get started on the topic?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, my name is TBO Joe. I'm here to support the community. Normally, I'm like a hype man in the chat and like very hard at rating when we do the raids. Um, but I'm here for anything. I'm somewhat good at reading a chart. I know how to read a chart. I've been in crypto for at least for I think I'm going on my 5th year. I've been somewhat successful. I learned a lot during the way. I was very stupid in the beginning, so if anybody's new, please don't bash yourself. We're all still learning, even if the most advanced guy that's here, they're still learning every day. So crypto, it's fun, and don't beat yourself up. We're all new, so. But I'm here to support you guys. I'm here to support the chat. I'm here to support the community. I really see Dirty Jeeto, making a big move from where we came from. So, but yeah, that's me. I'm TBO Joe, and you need me, I'm here.
Thank you, brother. Hey, mister, I see you down there. Don't be shy now.
Mr. Kanto, cause he's not amongst the speaker. Um,
Thank you.
so
Oh, no, that's
so
fine.
he has to
Demon
request
down
for
there.
a mic. Yeah, you tell him to request for a
Introduce
mic.
yourself. Really turn muted on.
Moon, you bring him up. Yeah, you request for a mic and you bring him on.
Okay. Let's do that. I don't force anyone to speak if they don't want to. We'll wait. He volunteers that he wants to. But head started on the talk. We said we're going to keep all of the negativity out of here, but in the interest of full transparency, I would like to give a little background information. I think that we all started here from the same, and we joined this community from the same main project. And Dirty Jeeto was just supposed to be a fun little side project for us to invest in. And a lot of us just kind of fell in love with it and decided that it's a great narrative and we can go so many places with it. But along the way, there are obviously a lot of different projects in crypto, and there's a lot of infighting and drama, and so we have decided here that we want to just take a stand and make sure that we're doing what we intended to do with this project. We want to make sure that it is a positive space. We want to teach our holders and our group members and our community how to trade responsibly, how to de-risk when they go into coins, so they don't have to have so much emotion behind losing the money that they need to pay their bills. And so that's why we're doing this. And along the way, as we continue these, we're going to do regular spaces where we are picking topics to educate those in crypto who are trying to learn how to make a positive experience out of this. So today's topic, de-risking and avoiding red flags in meme coin trading. I think we all know that about 90% of the meme coins you see are going to eventually end up getting rugged. So, in order to protect yourself, it's only responsible that whenever you choose any project you want to put your money into, you absolutely never put more money than you can afford to lose because it can be gone in seconds. And so, if you only are gambling, and this is gambling obviously, with money that you cannot afford to lose, then you can come back and fight again another day. But if you happen to find a project that is quickly on the rise and it's going up, the next responsible thing to do, obviously, is to take out your initials once you get to a certain level of profit. That way, when you're in the coin, you can continue to trade and try to identify the markers on the chart that say, okay, it's high. You know when it starts to go down, you're going to sell. So if you take out your initials and you are only in the token with profit that you've already made from the token, then that kind of relieves a little bit of the pressure from it. You have more freedom to not panic sell when you see the chart tanking. You have a little bit of freedom to sell at the top, and if you think it's still going to go a little higher, buy on the dip. So these are things that as a community we want to enforce to try to help everybody who is learning in this space to not put so much on the line that you're putting your family's livelihood in danger. And so that's why we're here. And to start off, I'm just going to share a story that happened to me in my first couple of weeks of doing this. And it's hopefully it resonates and some of you guys can learn from it. So my very first meme coin that I purchased, it happened to be a good one. It happened to be one that was pretty solid, pretty stable. I'm not going to shill it here, but I got in around 29 million, and it was sitting there for a while. It started to go up. I didn't know anything about taking profits out. I believe the community when they said that this is the one. It's gonna moon. This is your generational wealth coin. These are common things that you're gonna hear in every group that you invest in. So what I did was I took my supply and I moved it to a wallet that I wasn't going to trade in because I also heard about all of the different dangers of having your wallets drained. So I did that and I continued to get into the trenches and trade. And of course, I was not as successful at finding a stable coin the next 10 or 15 coins I got into. So I ended up doing something that I thought was a scam. I downloaded an app and I thought it was a scam. So I panicked immediately. I was so fearful that my wallets were going to be drained that I started changing all of my passwords. I was panicking. I wanted to move my tokens that I had that were so stable over to a different wallet. Well, in the end, what happened was because I was moving so fast, because I was moving out of fear and I was moving out of emotion, the wallet that I tried to transfer my tokens to ended up, I put the last letter of the wallet address capitalized instead of lowercase. And I basically burned almost $1,000 off a simple mistake. So I would like to simply encourage everyone slow is fast is slow. I'm sorry, slow is fast. If you're moving too fast, you can make a simple error that can cost you a lot of money. You should always think before you click on links. You should never trust anything that's in your DM. Bring it to a public forum. You should, again, I'm going to say de-risk when you enter a coin. That way you can execute your plan more strategically in if you are swing trading and trying to buy those dips and sell the clips. So um, I'd like to be here for people who are scared to get in and don't know what to do. So uh, that's basically my purpose here in this space. I kind of want to open up the floor because I'm out of words for anyone who may have questions for me or anyone who wants to share their story and help people understand some of the other red flags to avoid.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree on you with that. We've all been in those projects that we've supported and thought we're gonna go to the moon, and we've just always had that one bad apple that'll mess it up for the whole group. So yeah, learning all these steps into trading smart is definitely gonna benefit your team and benefit yourself in the long run.
So, what are some of the red flags you've run into?
One of the biggest red flags that I've seen recently is those major volume coins that have like over a million in volume or probably like 500,000 in volume, and the market cap is only like what 700,000.
Yeah, but that's definitely the volume bots will definitely farm you like crazy. So, and even those, if you execute a strategy, you can absolutely de-risk out of them, and you can make a little money off of those that are farming communities, and but you just have to be really careful and be really responsible and come up with a strategy that works for you, and obviously make sure that your risk level meets your expected return, so and what you're comfortable with.
I feel like if you go into a coin with a solid game plan instead of just like buying like sporadically, I feel like you would definitely benefit more. Cause yeah, people see a CA and they're like, "Oh yeah, we gotta jump on it." It's always good to always do the research. See if they have a Telegram. See if they have a Dex screener. See if they have a Twitter. Make sure that there's active people in the community. Don't just jump into something without checking these steps off your list. Make sure you have your game plan. Follow that game plan. Stick to the game plan.
That's very important to stick to your
Oh,
plan.
and another
I've
thing,
been
if you are, please continue.
no. What I wanted to say was I've been in a few projects where I go up 3, 4x, and I don't pull out my initials and I don't stick to my plan, and I end up with dust, which is really only my own fault. I've got nothing to no nobody else to blame for that. Um, so yeah, just as you said, stick to your plan, know what you're doing. Rather make less and make something than trying to chase that 10, 15x and make nothing.
That's absolutely true. And I've seen a meme that seems pretty indicative of how the majority of emotional traders trade, and it's Jeters will buy high and sell low. And so I definitely have found myself in a position where I've bought at the very top of a chart and then it sunk down, and I wasn't expecting so much volatility, and I sold low and then it went back up to all-time high. So when we are trading with emotion and we are taking uh, just watching what's happening every second, that's definitely not the way to go. So what I like to do is get into a coin. Like to watch the snipers snipe, because after the initial snipe, it's going to drop down sometimes 40, 50, up to 80%, and try to jump in at that level. And then I will set my take profit to execute a 50% sell when it 2x's. So all I have in there then at that point is profit. And then if it continues to grow, I will take 25% out every leg up until you start to see it downtrend. And then if it looks like there's still volume and there's still activity in the community and things are still, you can buy the dip. But when I buy the dip, I only buy the dip with 50% of the profit that I've made, because what point is making profit if you're going to put it all back in something that's going to get rugged or that's going to fail. So that's that's a strategy that has worked for me. Anyone else have strategies that have worked for them that you want to share?
No, I find.
I think it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Well, I was gonna say I find it great that we have a community that we can actually trade with instead of like going in by yourself. You can talk to one of your friends and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And they'll tell you like, "Yo, man, that's a red flag, bro. I don't think you should do it." And it's good having that support in the community.
That is true. And I think the bigger the community, the better, especially when you have people that you can trust that are um, constants, that are always there, that aren't just simply looking for the next big thing. Because when you're together, you have more eyes on what's available. You have more options to you have more knowledge. So to me as a community, you only have more options to win. And then you also have people that are looking out for those red flags for you that can say, I see this on this chart, or look at those bundled wallets, or um, I know this dev and he did this. So the bigger and better you build your community, the more we can learn together and the more we can grow. And that's what Dirty Jeeto is all about. We are there. We obviously have a lot of volatility. We have been down to the bare minimum and we are building it from the ground floor up. And we're doing so because we sit in that VC and we talk about intelligent buying and we talk about different tools that work and we talk about things that people want to know. So as we get more and more eyes on us, the community is only going to grow. That floor, that support level is only going to grow, and and we're going to take this thing all the way to the top. So come on, I can't see your full username,
Um,
Berlin professor, but tell us some of the red flags you've run into.
Um, okay, so last week, 2 weeks ago, can't remember exactly when, I got into a coin. I don't, it was shilled on one of these Telegram groups. And I just fell for it. It looked interesting. Everybody was hyping it. And I got into the Telegram, and then VC was active. Okay, cool. I'm gonna buy in because the VC was pumping like really big time, and the chart was moving fast. And I bought too high, firstly, and I got drugged completely to like I think I have cents left on that coin. But I think it was just panic selling. Everybody one big sell, and then everybody sold after that, and the coin was basically done after that. 2 days later, same thing happened. I don't know how I got. I think I saw it on Twitter, the new coin, and I got into the Telegram as well. And it was the same people, and I bought in again, and the same thing happened. So it's only my own fault. As I said, I don't blame anyone when I lose money in this space. But yeah, don't fall for the same people more than once. If you know their strategy, just don't. Yeah.
That is true, but at the same time, when certain communities and how they operate, you can also recognize patterns and you can get ahead of those patterns. So there is a way to successfully trade those coins as well while still de-risking. You have to know what you're getting into, and that's kind of what we look at is okay. So
Yes.
we know this has happened numerous times in the past. What is going to happen? What's the typical levels they get to? What are the metrics that it starts to decline, and then you can kind of start recognizing those patterns and still trade effectively off of it a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's when
So,
you go
y-
full on degen.
Yeah, that's true.
absolutely.
Yeah, no. As I said, I've just learned a few lessons along the way. Small ones, but they all add up. And all the mistakes you guys make, that's all part of the lessons I learn. I listen, although I don't speak much.
Um, something I learned recently is from a buddy of mine is always check the volume right away when it comes. If it's coming out of pump fund, you check the volume. It's like if it's in the millions, it's something that's moving. Um, so I usually check the volume, and then I check what is it? I check in the GMGN um, website. I
Oh
check
yeah,
I check for KOLs. I check for whale wallets. 'Cause it tells you all that right on the front page. So that's what I usually do first.
I think there's, for me, when I spot a coin, unless the two or three things that I look for when I see one is obviously the top holder. The first two or three, if it's above 3%, I don't feel comfortable because he can really wreck a chart if he decides to sell. And I check if the coin has ads or has that boost on it. That's really good sign in a coin, and it's you can at least get your 50 to 2x to 3x on that type of coins.
Okay. Yeah, those I like to look for those signs too. I have found that those boosters can be deceiving though, because sometimes people will throw a big boost on it just to pump it up enough to dump. So that can be a good sign. It can be a bad sign. How do we tell the difference? How do you
I
tell the
don't know,
difference?
but the boost definitely make me weary now when I see 1,000, 2,000 boost.
You can see it on the volume. Well, I see it on the volume. If the volume is good and the pump is, the chart is going green steadily, that's how I usually decide to get in. But if it's going sideways and the volume is crazy, that's something's up over there.
Oh, absolutely. And on those volume boosters too, you can look. I don't know which trading platform you guys are using, but if you have the volume indicator, you can see there's a solid block of almost back to back high volume buy, volume sell, high volume buy, and it looks like a square on the chart. Whereas a more organic chart in the volume, you see spikes here and there, and mostly low volume. So that's definitely something good to watch for.
Liquidity also.
So what is a good level of liquidity, a good ratio of liquidity to market cap? How do we look at that and say, all right, this coin has enough liquidity to get in and out of based on the market cap? Is there a metric you use?
Not really a metric, but if I see a coin that's sitting at like 1,000 market cap and it has like at least like 50 to 75% of that in liquidity, I'd feel more comfortable.
Al, you are fully in the trenches. You said 1,000 market cap?
100,000, my bad, sorry.
Okay. Like that is a red flag in itself, but okay, I get
Yeah,
you.
no, even with
So if
the
it's at 100,000
$100,000
market cap,
market caps too, it's kind of like, do I really want to get in and see if it probably hit 1 million? Nowadays, it's all about the entry, man. A lot of people they try to take advantage of entry.
that is true. Another red flag that I just thought of is when you go in there and you're trying to find the next coin that just got released is that giant green candle on the very first The very first candle is a giant green candle, and then you have your steady stair step up for however long. Steady stair step up, tiny dip. Steady stair step up, tiny dip. Those absolutely are coins that you have to, if you catch it early enough, get in and get out almost immediately, or avoid them altogether, because that is nothing but bot generated volume buys and sells, and they will farm you for $1, $2, $3. They don't care. That's just simply, you can see that it's a steady stair step up and a one candle down, and they're just gathering investors' money, and then they're selling and they're taking it. So those giant green candles on that very first candle is always a big red flag for me.
That's true. That's true. One thing that I still do, and I tell myself a lot of times not to do it, is buy green candles. And uh, I'm disappointed in myself every time I do it because I get FOMO. And yeah, um, I just don't learn out of my mistakes regarding that because the FOMO really kicks in big time. And I still do it to today, even though I've learned my lesson quite a few times.
Oh yeah, FOMO is real. A lot of times, and I know people who intentionally top blast, and they constantly want to complain about losing their shirt because they tried to top blast. So uh, because they've already invested and they want to not see that dip, but those are all really scary signs. So, but also, since you mentioned FOMO, let's go back to emotion. That is, I've found that whenever you are feeling that, if you literally just stop and take a breath and wait 15 seconds before you push that button, it saves you a lot of money, because while you're feeling that FOMO, the people who have already bought in at the bottom are also feeling that, oh, it's time for me to take my profits. So if you just stop and slow down just a little bit and take that extra 15 seconds before you push that buy button, you could save yourself the difference between buying at the top and buying the dip.
Yes, I agree with you
So
on
I
that. Um,
go ahead.
no, I say I agree with you on that, and I will
Uh,
work on that in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's helped me quite a bit because I'm in that same position where I'll see something going up and I'm like, "Oh no, this is gonna send." So just taking a step back and saying, "Okay, let's give it a second." So
And I mean,
I see that Mr. Sir is now a speaker.
So
Oh, go
is
ahead.
that
I'm sorry.
Photon, man? I still haven't experimented with it. Is it an app? Is it a website? Like, how do I do it?
Photon is a website. The Photon website is photon-soul.tinyastro.io. And if you go into that, you can just it will generate a wallet. You can have up to 5 Photon wallets. You can import those into your Phantom wallet so you can keep an eye on them there too. But when you're within the Photon website, you're actually trading with their wallets that they issue. And yeah, I love Photon. You can set stop losses, you can set buy dips, you can set take profits. It kind of takes the guessing game out of it. There's been several nights that I went to sleep wondering if I was going to lose everything, and my take profit, it sold for me, and then shortly after that, the coin tanked. So I've made money while I was sleeping and avoid complete losses using these tools. So it's definitely something you want to get into and practice with.
I think Moon. I watched a YouTube video one day, or it was an Instagram reel, and the guy said, if you're unsure if you should take this play, set it out, pinpoint where you would have bought in, and then just look if you made the right call and do that 5 to 10 times and see, okay, I'm doing something wrong where you would have sold. Let's say you would have sold at 2x, you take your profit, and okay, cool, that was maybe the right move. But maybe you said, okay, I would have bought in at this market cap, and then 10 seconds later, the whole chart dumps. And you basically practice just by looking at charts and taking your buy ins for yourself. You understand what I mean?
Absolutely. That's where I started. I started doing that, but of course, I was a genius when I was doing it that way. I would have caught every dip and every top green candle every time. So it's not quite the same until you're actually working with real money. So after I did that, I started out doing that. Well, I started trading with zero point zero 0.01 Sol. I would do $1, $2 trades just to see exactly how trigger happy I was when there was real money on the line. Of course, it's tiny money, but then once I felt more comfortable at that level, then I started moving up slowly. So, yes, you can absolutely start with nothing, see if you can figure it out, make predictions of where you would buy, where you would sell, and then still start small. Don't go ape in something just because you think that you have it figured out. Start small if you're new to this and work your way up. So if you end up getting to a point where you're only gambling with your profits, then you do feel more comfortable with taking a little bit more risk versus if you have a lot of money on the line that you can't afford to lose, then obviously at the very moment you think something's going to tank, you're panic selling and you're at a loss all of a sudden when it then goes back up to 2 or 3x. So, hi Oscar. I see you joined us recently. I'm glad to have you here. Have you got any red flags or experiences or anything that you'd like to share?
Hello, how are you doing today? It's
We're
it's
good.
Fat Boy.
Oh,
I see it's got my name up there from my
okay.
I guess from my Twitter. No, I just actually got to sit down. Was trying to get in here and catch some of the spaces while it was going. Red flags, typical in crypto for me. No DM links unless you know exactly who it is and what it is. Don't click those. Those are a no no. Um, uh, I don't know. There's a few
What about chart indicators?
chart indicators for me. I was going to say I don't really have a lot of red flags. Again, I don't click on links. You never know in this space. You hear a lot, you see a lot, and you also realize that most of it's bullcrap. For chart indicators, though, I love to look at new projects when they're fairly new, but I also like that project to be 100, at least 100 plus holders and some good volume in there. If you got good volume, 30 to 50K, it's getting some attention and it's moving. And market cap doesn't really matter. Of course, you want the lower the better, but some of these projects can go from thousands to millions to billions even. When you're looking at a new project, I guess anywhere under bonding is kind of scary. But we all know what the bonding process. There's a lot of people that get in and out and make their money in the bonding process. And then shortly after that, if you're willing to wait and patient, there's usually a post bond dip. And that's always a great place to get in on a project if you got your eye on it and you're liking it. I say that pre bond is more of gambles and risks and, rides. If you're willing to wait, again, sit it out. As as one of the speakers said a few minutes ago, if you sit back and just do the plan in your head instead of actually purchasing, you're not too sure. That's worked out for me a few times. That's kind of how I started. I didn't have much info on the inside, and I was like, well, I guess I'll just play this like a game and get my pen and paper out and make me some entry points and exit points on what I would have done. And just as he said a few minutes ago, if you do that 10 times right, you might be onto something. If you do that 10 times wrong, well, you might need to figure some more stuff out. for throwing your hard-earned money in here, because I know a lot of us don't just get money given to us. We all have to work and earn our money, and this is a space to where it doesn't matter what you do or who you are. You can be whoever in here. No one has to really know. And some people are unfair. Some people are fair. Some people are just here to scrape some change. And some people are here to make some waves.
That is true.
Another thing on chart indicators, if
Well,
you look at a project that's been going for a while, uh, there's always going to be highs and lows, major pullbacks, but there's a lot to do with that farming world, and I think we're all kind of getting to figure it out. The farming is a big thing, and those are some things that I'm interested in learning about, how to tell what's being farmed and what's not. I'm still trying to figure those out myself. Sometimes it's hard to tell from a good healthy chart that's having pullbacks and new highs and new lows every day, and some of these charts are crazy with the movement and the volume.
I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think that even on the healthy charts, you're always going to have some level of farming because that's the nature of the game. People do study charts for a living and they know how to read those indicators and to know what the different candle markers are, and we'll have to do one of our spaces on that, on actually the candle indicators and what they mean, because there's resource upon resource that actually shows people, okay, when this happens, this is what to look for. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna go up, and if it's here and you see this candle, it's gonna go down. So we'll definitely have to add that to our list of running educational spaces in the future. But yeah, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. If you have a healthy looking chart, you're also gonna have a healthy level of farming in that.
That is 100% correct.
It's definitely where all the volatility comes from. And then too, especially when you have people, normal everyday people who, let's say they do get in at that 100,000 and they put in a decent amount of money. If they see that go to 1 million, some people have never even seen that amount of money in their bank account at any given moment. So they can't help but to cheat and to sell because it's just human nature. The greed is tempting, the fear is tempting. Seeing that level of money that could maybe pay 1 month or 2 months worth of bills is sometimes too tempting to resist. So you have both sides of the coin. Those that are intentionally taking advantage of people's emotions to buy and sell at the wrong times, and those who just simply can't help but push that button because they have that FOMO, and then they do end up missing out because they did not hold tight to something that was a valuable coin. So you can see it from both sides. You see it every day. The key is to continue to study and to look and to consistently learn, and absolutely learn from your mistakes and stop making the same mistakes over and over again. When you find that sweet spot and find a strategy that works for you, take the emotion out of it and stick with the strategy. Are you going to lose sometimes? Absolutely. But if you have a strategy that you have a sweet spot, perhaps you win 7 times out of 10. Perhaps you only win 4 times out of 10 because you're a bit riskier, but you risk bigger and it's more. So, um, in the end, I think crypto gambling is gambling. It can be a fun and healthy thing to do if you treat it responsibly. And I think that's what we want to instill over at Dirty Jeeto. We have a pretty low floor right now, but we know that that floor is going to hold, and we know that we are going to grow this foundation, and it's going to continue to grow as we have these conversations, and more people realize that there is some consistency behind this, and that this is a place where all minds can come together, learn how to be responsible and how to make money and how not to step on everybody's toes in the process. So
Very well
think if
said.
there's we've almost approached we've almost approached our hour, so if there's anything else we want to add to have anybody close with, we're gonna go ahead and do our closing statements here and shut it down, and we'll certainly see you next time around. This is our first, but it absolutely will not be our last.
Oh yeah, most definitely. First of all, I want to apologize for not putting my introduction in earlier. My microphone was messed up, but I love everything that everybody's bringing to the table. If there's anything I can add, yes, most definitely exercising proper risk management. There's also two types of analysis you want to do on any project that you get into. There's technical analysis and there's fundamental analysis. Your fundamental analysis with these projects is going to be what kind of socials do they have. If they don't have any social, that's a red flag right away. If they do have a social, before you ape into the coin, check the social out, see what's moving, look at the charts. That's more of a technical analysis, is reading the charts. If you see higher highs and higher lows, then you know it's on an upward trend, unless they're going to dump the coin on you. So none of that stuff's tried and true. But another thing you can look at is the orders, who is buying and who is selling. If you're seeing somebody that's buying with 0.00007 over and over again, they're trying to feed the chart, but it's not an organic growth, because anybody that's going to put in, even if they're putting in a couple of dollars at a time, 0.01 Solana, that's going to be somebody that's willing to just try it and see if this is it gonna give me a green, or am I going to be holding a red token. So definitely exercising proper risk management. What Moon's talking about with, maybe you win 5 and you lose 5, if you diversify your portfolio and you exercise risk management in a way where you take profit and stop loss, if you put your stop loss, say you put your stop loss at 5% below what you're going to be in at, and you have a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio on that, then you'd have your take profit margin sitting only 15% on that. If you lost on 5 of those coins and you gained on 5 of those coins, you're going to still be above 50% of that. So looking at those ratios, if you're looking to 2x, maybe you want to put $100 into a coin and you say, okay, I'm only willing to lose $20 on this total. Then you put your stop loss at 20% below that. You put your original take profit at 60% above that. Another thing that's really helpful for identifying red flags, again, like if you're looking at the socials and you're seeing different things going on, just watch that. Like, instead of, buying into it right away, wait 15 seconds. I guarantee that chart's going to move. And if it doesn't move, then you also know that that might be something that you might not want to get into right away until you start seeing it move. The only other thing that I would really like to address on that, as far as avoiding red flags, is looking at your oh god, don't let me drop this. Okay, looking at your ability to see, like, if something's gonna migrate, if like you're looking at an about to graduate coin, okay, and it's about to migrate, you can count on there being a dip, either right before the migration or shortly after the migration, and that's a perfect time to make a limit order. And a limit order is an order that you make that is only going to make when it reaches that coin's, whatever market cap you put it at. So if you're looking at a coin that's about to migrate and you want to get into it, but you make a market order and it dips 30%, then you're probably going to either panic sell or you're going to take it for a loss, unless that really, really picks back up and gains a lot of momentum. But you can look at where the last 2 dips were, and you can say, okay, it's at 80K right now, but the last 2 dips dipped down to about 50K. All right, so I'm going to put a limit order in, saying that I don't want to get into this coin until it hits 50K, and then it buys you into the coin at 50K, and it automatically goes all the way up, almost 2x, 3x, and then sometimes, I mean, this has happened to me several times. It happened to me with the Yeezy coin. It happened to me with the Held coin. These are all coins that I found right before they reached the bonding curve, and I got into them with a limit order, and it dipped, and I was the first one to be able to buy at the end of the dip because I had that limit order in place. And so that's a really powerful way to help de-risk. It doesn't work on everything, especially if they're going to rug it. But, again, that's why you do that fundamental analysis, which is looking at the social, seeing what kind of projects they got, and their staking opportunities. And yeah, everything everybody said late night had a lot to say about the volume. And that's important too, looking at the volume, because if you have too much volume on a coin, it's going to not even trigger your stop loss. You think you're safe because you have a stop loss or a take profit in place, but this volume bot set up so fast that if your slippage isn't high enough, it's not even going to sell it because you didn't reach that deal. And I've had that happen to me once or twice too. So yeah, I don't want to take up too much time again. I guess we're running low on time. But let's do this again. Everybody had some awesome stuff to put in. I'm a believer in this project, and I love you guys, and I appreciate everybody's input.
Okay.
Very well said, Mister. Very
I
well
think
said.
that pretty much, absolutely. Absolutely. There's so much knowledge in this group, and anybody who's going to be listening to this after the fact, you don't have to end the conversation here. Come join us in the Dirty Jeeto VC. We're there. Somebody's there 24/7, and we are happy to meet you. We want to engage with you. We want to learn from you as well, and we want to share our knowledge with you. So we look forward to meeting you in the future.